What is up, everybody? This is Matt with the Hardcover Comic, and tonight I'm going to be discussing my top 5 Marvel Omni Wishlist. And it was kind of hard to get started because I got to thinking about it, and Marvel actually does put out a lot of really great content in omnibus format. So it was kind of hard to initially think of what is on my wish list. But once I got going, I came up with a lot of ideas. There's actually some that I need to make almost like a part 2 to this video, to be honest, because it needs to be more like a top 10. But that being said, here is my top 5 Marvel Omni wish list. So up first, we have Black Panther by Christopher Priest. Now, if you've never read this run, it is great. It's phenomenal. It's really different from any other Black Panther comic that I read. Christopher Priest really kind of focused on more of like this magical, supernatural-ish type side to it, which was really, really kind of neat to see. I've read about half of the run. I haven't read the full run because I'm actually waiting to get it all collected in the complete collections. Now, there are 4 complete collections that you can get through Marvel. My goal is to take them and bind those suckers into one nice big fat omnibus format, or maybe 2 smaller ones. I'm thinking I might be able to, if I custom bind them, I'm thinking I might be able to get them all into one because the paper's thinner and things like that. But if they were to do an official release for this omnibus, it would have to be in 2 volumes. There was 62 issues in total. There was a handful towards the end that Priest didn't write. He did finish off the series though, so you would have to break it up in probably two volumes if you did do an official release. But for my custom bind, I think I can get them all into one. We'll have to measure it and see. Usually you can do up to about 2.5 inches without issue. So we'll have to see what I can do on that. But I am going to be custom binding these. But either way, I wish Marvel would do a Christopher Priest, Black Panther, full omnibus, official collected edition with the oversized art. There's a lot of Mark Teixeira art in there, which is just phenomenal. From what I've read of the run, like I said, I've read probably half of it, and it's so much fun. I read it digitally. I liked it so much, I was like, I don't want to read it digitally anymore. I want it physical, so I actually bought the complete collections. I just need to get them all prepped and everything else and get them in for binding. Next up on the list, we have Ghost Rider. Now, not just any Ghost Rider, but the original Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider. Well, maybe not the original, because there was like the White Phantom Cowboy Ghost Rider, but we're talking about the original motorcycle demon-possessed Ghost Rider, all right? Johnny Blaze. Now, this one ran from about 1973 to June of 1983. It ran for 81 issues, and then there were about 7 Marvel Spotlight issues, beginning with Marvel Spotlight number 5, where you have the first appearance of Johnny Blaze. Now, these were all collected in the Essential collections, but the problem with Essential is they're all black and white. Everybody wants to see them in color, like they were originally presented. Marvel has not collected these in any other sort of collections like the Epic collections, Marvel Omnibuses, or anything like that to date. They have started in the Marvel Masterworks collection, which are gorgeous, amazing books. I did buy the very first volume for this, and you can see the video of that in our earlier releases. But the problem is, how long is it going to be before those little thin books collect all 90-ish issues? It's going to be a while. So, do it in a 3-volume omnibus set, divide it out into thirds, make a really awesome custom connecting spine, and you're going to get people to buy all 3 volumes. Not only that, but this is a set that people have been clamoring for years and asking Marvel for. Next up is the 1980s Moon Knight run, starting with Werewolf by Night issue 32. Now, there are also going to be some appearances and things that he makes, but then you're going to have issues 1 through 38. Now, you have a couple different options with this if they were to make this into an official omnibus, not a custom bind. What am I saying? An omnibus. You could either do one huge omnibus, which might be a little unwieldy, or you could do 2 smaller editions, maybe even make them oversized hardcover sized. You could really go a couple different ways with it. They currently do collect all of these issues in 3 sets of the Epic collections. Now, I do have all 3, and what I'm about to say may be blasphemous to a lot of the Epic collectors out there, but I think I might just end up ripping off the covers and then binding them myself. I want Moon Knight in a hardcover format. And it's never been done, at least not this series. It's never been done in an omnibus format, period, for any Moon Knight run. And so it needs to happen. This is yet another set that people have been clamoring for years. It is a classic that people love. You have Bill Sienkiewicz's art that just looks amazing, and I would love to see it on those oversized glossy pages. Okay, so this one, it's kind of a cheat, okay? Because this is going to count as my 4 and 5. The reason being is that it's so much to cover in these sets that it really kind of takes up 2 spots. So I am cheating a little bit for 4 and 5. But for number 4, you have the What If Marvel set. It ran from 77 to 1984. It was a series of one-shots, a total of about 47 issues. Now, for something like that, you could do it in one giant Omni. Currently, they do have, 2 of the complete collections released. They will have all 4 complete collections released, collecting all 47 issues by May of this year. Now, if you're listening to this in the future, the year I'm referring to is 2020. So, you can get those. My plan, since there's no talks of them ever releasing this in an omnibus format. Once again, I'm going to collect the 4 collected editions. I'm going to rip off the covers of them with a blow dryer, and I'm going to bind them into hardcovers myself. But again, this is something that really needs to be put into an omnibus format. I mean, they made a lot of other weird one-off, like Marvel Universe according to John Byrne, Marvel Universe according to Chris Claremont. Not saying that they're bad. I love those guys. But those are kind of weird one-off omnis. You also have some of the older, like, monsters and things like that. Why have they not done a What If collection? Why? I want this, okay? This would be an amazing 1-volume set that you could get, is the What If Volume 1 set, 47 issues. Now, I know I said I'm kind of cheating, and I am, but for this next one, it is going to be the What If Marvel Volume 2 set that ran from 1989 to 1998. Now, this set ran for 114 issues, so it's going to have to be a 3-volume omnibus bind, okay? 3 regular-sized omnibuses. Now, the difference between Volume 2 and Volume 1 of the What If series is that Volume 2 wasn't just one-shots. Sure, there were one-shots involved, but it wasn't just one-shots. It was, sometimes they led into multiple issues, and they had multiple issue arcs and things like that. Not only that, but for me personally, this series is near and dear to my heart. The reason being is because when I was about 9 years old, I went into a comic shop for the very first time. My dad took me in, and the very first comic that I ever got was What If Captain America had formed the Avengers. I read that title cover to cover, I don't know how many times, and that was the book that created and fostered my love for comics that I have today. So it is kind of a near and dear nostalgic thing to me, but I would love to see the What If Volume 2 series collected into 3 omnis. So you would have a total of 4 omnis, collect all of the what ifs from the 80s through the end of the 90s. Well, there you have it, everyone. That is my top 5 Marvel Omni wish list. Now, I know I did kind of cheat at the end, but it's a 4-volume set. It counts as 2, right? Anyway, stay tuned for more content coming from us on the Hardcover Comic. We got some more live shows coming up, obviously, where we're going to be doing interviews with maybe some YouTube creators, maybe some comic creators. Who knows what 2020 is going to hold in store. But stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And the power is yours.